I'm Andrew Edwards, and you're watching Gear Live. TCL is the fastest growing television brand in America, and it's easy to see why. Since the company manufactures all of the main components of their TVs themselves, this means they're able to pass savings onto the consumer without selling a subpar product. It's no wonder that the TCL 6 series has been a mainstay in many annual best of lists for the past 2 years. Recently at CES, TCL announced several new technologies coming to their TVs here in 2020, and in this video, I tell you all about the new hotness that you can expect. What is going on, Tech Squad? Andrew Edwards here, editor-in-chief of GearLive.com. And as I mentioned, today we are talking about the new features coming this year here in 2020 to TCL's line of TVs. Now, in particular, we are talking about the TCL 8 series, TCL 6 series, and the TCL 5 series, and the new features that are coming to each line individually, as well as features that are coming to the line as a whole. Now, aside from those three lines at the TCL booth, they were also showing different concepts of the type of tech that we might be seeing in future TVs. TVs that you can use to take selfies and add effects and filters to your photos, a super thin micro LED TV that's just a concept for now, and even TVs that will swivel from horizontal to vertical aspect ratios. So without any further ado, let's kick it off with the top of the line, the new 2020 TCL 8 series with Vidrian technology. This was the most impressive tech that TCL had to show at its booth. The 2028 series TVs will ship with a new form of mini LED technology, and that's not to be confused with micro LED. And this new mini LED tech is called Vidrian. The company says it's the first TV backlight with the driving semiconductor circuitry and tens of thousands of micrometer class mini LEDs directly fused in a crystal clear glass substrate. Now, what that means in layman's terms is we're taking that array of 25,000 mini LEDs and fusing it to the glass panel. So at the end of the day, for the TV, that means better contrast, better clarity, better uniformity, and better luminance. And what that also means is we will finally be able to see TCL's take on an 8K TV. TCL promised the 8K TV for 2019. That didn't happen, but with the Vidrian 8 series, we will definitely be seeing it here in 2020. Now, one cool thing in the booth, TCL was actually showing this technology next to OLED panels to give you an idea of how its mini LED technology stacked up. And I've got to say, it was hard to spot any differences. And in fact, mini LED has some advantages over OLED, like the fact that it can get a lot brighter, which is important when watching HDR content. And you also don't have to worry about burn-in with mini LED like you do with OLED. And lastly, it's nowhere near as expensive. So that is the 2020 version of the TCL 8 series. Now let's move on to the TCL 6 series, which is probably the TV that really put TCL on the map back in 2018. And if the Vidrian Mini LED 8 series was the most impressive tech in TCL's booth, then what TCL shared about the 2020 version of the 6 series was the most impressive news in the booth, at least in my personal opinion. You see, last year in 2019 with the 8 series, TCL introduced its mini LCD technology, bringing those 25,000 mini LEDs into their top of the line 8 series. Now with the 2028 series going with the Vidrian technology, TCL is actually bringing that mini LED array down in the line to the 6 series. This means that the 6 series, which many people like me who review TVs and think is the best value for the money on the market today, is getting a gigantic upgrade that will probably keep it at the top of the pack when you're comparing dollar to value. But TCL did not stop there. Now let's talk about the TCL 5 series. It's typically a svelte TV, an edge-lit TV, entry-level model that keeps the price way down for consumers. This is the one that doesn't have as many flashy features, but does still sport the thin bezels, the multiple HDMI inputs, and has Roku TV built in. Now here in 2020, TCL will be adding 2 major features to the 5 series. Those being a quantum dot display, or QLED, and full array backlighting. This means that the 2025 series will be a QLED TV with contrast control zones, and this is a huge leap forward. So what TCL has essentially done here is added a new technology at the top of the line with Mini LED on glass in Vidrian on the 8 series, then moved last year's top of the line 8 series features down into the 2026 series, and then took last year's 6 series features and moved those down into the 5 series. Now, even if we stopped right there, that in and of itself would be impressive enough to be worthy of a new TV lineup for 2020, but there is more. TCL also announced a couple of other features that it plans to add to several TVs in its lineup, and as most people know, if you're into gaming, TCL TVs are very gamer friendly, and they're adding a couple more features to make them even better for gamers. First up, later this year, TCL says that it will enable variable refresh rates, which will sync the frame rate of your TV to what's intended by the game that you're playing. The update is slated for this spring, and it should arrive for select 2019 TCL Roku 6 series models, as well as select 2020 high-performance TVs as well. Support for variable refresh rates is becoming more and more common on PC monitors, and is now starting to make its way to TVs, and TCL is one of the first to integrate it into their new and older sets as well. Now, in addition, TCL also announced that it's partnered with THX to make a new standard for gaming modes on TVs called THX Certified Game Mode. Now, I didn't get a chance to see exactly how this mode will look on a TV or how it differs from other game modes, but according to TCL themselves, this is what they had to say about it. THX Certified Game Mode delivers fast response time and the most optimal viewing experience, allowing games to be experienced the way they were intended by the creators, with rich, vibrant colors and better contrast in crisp 4K HDR resolution. And TCL does expect to launch TVs with the THX Certified Game Mode later this year. One other big technology we need to talk about coming to TCL TVs is HDMI eARC. TCL said later this year, Roku is expected to let select 2019 TCL Roku TVs take advantage of HDMI eARC, which is part of the HDMI 2.1 standard. So one advantage here of HDMI eARC is when you connect a video source to an audio source, so like a TV to a soundbar or a TV to a receiver, the audio source will be perfectly synced to the video source. So no more audio and video that are out of sync with each other and trying to play around with the response time of one or the other. HDMI eARC just takes care of it for you. Now, this video was focused on TCL's TVs, but I can't end it there without talking about a couple of other pieces of tech that TCL is launching here in 2020, including new TCL smartphones. This is the new smartphone lineup that TCL will be launching later this year. This includes the TCL 10 Pro, TCL 10L, and TCL 10 5G. Again, all phones will be available later this year. All three of them are Android smartphones, and all three of them are going to retail for under $500. That includes the 5G version. 5G phones from other manufacturers so far have cost around $1,000 or more. So TCL is cutting that price in half with the TCL 10 5G. Now, the TCL 10 Pro is easily the most impressive of the bunch and has a svelte design that looks similar to a Galaxy S10. It'll have an in-display fingerprint sensor, 4 rear cameras, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And lastly, TCL Audio was not gonna get left out. They have brand new true wireless earbuds in both their social and active lines. The earbuds support quick charging, they offer long battery life, and have a comfortable and eye-catching design as well. So if you're looking for a new pair of earbuds that give you great sound and great value, check out what TCL has to offer. But there you have it, guys. That was your look at the new TV technologies, all the new stuff that TCL plans to bring to the market here in 2020. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think about what TCL is doing? They're still maintaining that main thing that the brand is known for, which is giving you a quality product at a fair price. So let me know what you think about the 8 series, the Vidrian on glass, or the 6 series getting a mini LED treatment, or the 5 series going QLED with full array backlighting. Any questions you have about anything I shared in this video about what TCL is bringing to the market this year, drop it down in the comments below, and I'll meet you there for further discussion. If you want to hear even more about CES TCL TVs, and whatever is going on that week in the world of tech, be sure to subscribe to the Geared Up podcast. Geared Up is the podcast I do each and every week with John Rettinger, where we bring you the latest in tech, gadgets, and games. So if you want to bring us with you on your commute or anywhere that you go, search for Geared Up in your favorite podcast player. And if you want to see another impressive piece of tech that I saw at CES, I also talk about the return of SK Hynix to the consumer market, bringing some super fast SSDs for both PC and Mac. I'll leave a link down below as well as a card here if you want to check it out. Thanks again for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I'll catch you in the next video.